G'day, I'm Warwick Schiller, and today I want to talk to you about purchasing a new horse. And what made me think of this is my wife's new reining horse, Tom. You might be seeing a bit of Tom in a few videos in the future. We bought him recently, but over the years I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, I bought this new horse and this went wrong, what should I do? And a lot of times the people buy a horse sight unseen. Don't buy a horse sight unseen unless of course you have no expectations. You buy a sight unseen horse, you can't have any expectations. If they told you it can do something and you buy it sight unseen, don't believe them. The other thing is, in that vein, do not believe anything they say as far as what the horse can do. If that's a condition of your buying it, if they tell you that it can be ridden around by a 5-year-old child, when you go to try it out and a 30-year-old adult rides it around, say, well, I need you to show me it ridden around by a 5-year-old child, especially if you're buying it for your 5-year-old child. But do not take your 5-year-old child along for the tryout and put your on it unless they put their 5-year-old child on first, because you wouldn't believe some of the stories I've heard. So basically anything they say the horse can do that you want it to do, make sure they show you. Now, if it happens that it's too rainy that day and we can't ride the horse, don't buy the horse, come back later. I've heard that so many times. Well, I went to buy the horse and they said they were going to show me everything, but it kind of rained that day, or the rain the day before was a bit slippery, so they didn't show me and I believed them. Okay? It's kind of buyer beware. And on that vein as well, I would personally suggest that you have a vet check done by a qualified vet, and how far you want to go with that. You can go as far as you like, as little as you like. It can be quite expensive to do full sets of x-rays and stuff, so it really depends on, you know, what your plan to do with the horse is. But while the vet's there, have the vet draw blood. Okay, draw a vial of blood for a drug screen. Okay, tell the purchaser that's why you're drawing the vial of blood. You'll see what happens then. Don't run the drug panel. Okay, I don't know what it costs in many countries, but it's expensive to run a drug panel on a horse. But the vet can hold that tube. So you take that drug panel, take that syringe of blood, the vet holds it. They can hold it for quite a while. And if in the next couple of weeks things radically change with your horse, like all of a sudden he was really quiet and now he's crazy, you could run that drug panel. And then if that is the case, if the horse was drugged at all, you've got some legal recourse. You have a legal vet, he's marked the tube, that comes from that horse, from that place, and you would have some legal recourse. But I've heard a lot of stories about people buying horses and got it home and all of a sudden it's not the same horse it was. And I said, well, what did the drug panel say? They go, I didn't do that. And so, like I said, don't necessarily run the drug panel, but draw the blood. And when you tell them you're drawing the blood, as the vet's drawing the blood, look at their face to see what's going on. You might be able to tell a lot by that. Or maybe they might just come clean and go, oh, well, I know, I see, you know what, someone called me yesterday and said they're going to come pick it up today. They might change their story in a hurry, but those are probably the most two common scenarios I see is drugged horses. I'm not saying it's common, because I'm like the complaints department, okay? Like, we're a small business and my wife gets emails where people complain about things, and I said to her the other day, I said, you know, we also get emails, people buying product and all that sort of stuff, and I said to her, what you need to do every day is add up how much product you sold, or how many, call them good interactions you had, happy customers you had, and how many complaining customers you had. If you only focus on the ones that complain, because people don't email to tell you they loved it, but if they bought it and they didn't complain, they loved it. Okay, so I said to her, you know, you might get one every 4 days or something or other, but think about all the stuff you sell in the meantime. And so it's the same thing with this. I don't get people sending me a message, go, hey, I bought a horse the other day and it was great. No one tells me that. I only get the, hey, I bought a horse for my 5-year-old daughter the other day that they said 5-year-olds can ride, and she got on and bucked her off and now she's in hospital. What should I do? Or I bought a horse, you know, a month ago, and for the first month it was really quiet, and then it's gotten worse and worse and worse, and now it's losing its mind. What should I do? So those are probably the two most common things I have encountered, not from personal experience, because I wouldn't buy a horse without having them show me what it could do, or I'm prepared to train it to do whatever it can't do. But that's what I get from the general public. And you know, I have people a lot of times say, hey, can you make a video on what to look for when you're buying a horse? I can't tell you what to look for when you're buying a horse. What do you want to do? If I tell them, oh, well, I want one that can do a sliding stop and spin and flying lead change, they might not want that. They might want a quiet trial riding horse. So, you know, your two big things, if they say it can do it, have them show you, okay? And the other thing is, get a pre-purchase, even if it's just a general vet goes over it. Oh yeah, he's alive, he's breathing, he's got 4 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears and a tail, it's all good. Oh, by the way, we're going to just pull some blood. That'll help you out a lot. And I, you know, like I said, apart from that though, you know, I don't really have a lot of great suggestions because I don't know what you want to do with your horse. But one thing I would suggest you have him do is have him do something really fast and then really slow. Like if I had a video on here about a month ago I put up with my young horse Bundy, and it was a video answering the question. People go, what do I do when I go to a horse show and my horse loses his mind and I can't get him back down? And I said, before you ever go to a horse show, here at home, take your horse and go here and run him around flat out for 30 seconds and then see how long it takes him to come back down. If you can't, and in that video, Bundy ran around a million miles an hour, came back and walked off flat-footed. And so it's not about what happens at the show, it's how that horse handles an amount of adrenaline. It doesn't matter what causes the adrenaline, whether it's kangaroos jumping out of the bushes or the horse show or a horse getting loose, horse pulling back, whatever it might be. It's how well does that horse handle adrenaline. So that's something you could ask them to do too, is just say, okay, what I want you to do is take him for a big old flat gallop for a minute and then just come back and walk him on loose rein. See if they can do that. That will tell you a lot about that horse's ability to handle adrenaline. So anyway, that's just some tips from me to you on purchasing your horse. I hope that helps.